Yeah, I'm trying to remember what context this was. This was in. Uh, oh, it's on my calendar. Okay, that's what I said. Oh, I just put that on. I don't know why I had the wait intros. No, that was old. Oh, I see. This was like way back. That was way back when. And then
I don't know what you just found, but it's not way back. It's here.
oh, okay, there we go.
It's literally
I said
Saturday.
analyze. Beck had been overanalyzing why we don't offer salvation. We sell support. Oh, that's why we said that. Okay. Now I've had like so many conversations with the AIs that I don't remember what's what anymore.
That is a real thing, and I've absolutely also gone down a rabbit hole. You guys, we are back. This is our second time filming something, figuring
Yeah.
out what it is. We don't even have a name for it yet. But I'm Salisha Thomas. I'm here with Becca and Cedric Burton-Yau.
Yeah.
Becca Burton-Yau, Cedric Yau, and we're on the call. We're talking about, before we hung up yesterday, you guys were talking about a Supergirl, Superwoman. What was that?
All right. So yeah, this started in I think our trip to Austin together, Salisha, and we were looking at what brands like to target, and so a lot of the toddler running.
Don't mind the toddler running.
This is a family company.
Yes. We were talking about having Chat GPT, try to identify target demographics. And one thing that comes up very often is that for a premium athleisure yoga brand, the AIs like to recommend, let's say, the demographic being like female urban professional, and then you can layer on like has an Equinox membership and does yoga, which is which would probably be like the obvious ideal. Yeah, it's the ideal customer profile.
Wait, I'm sorry. Where is this at? Where can you put this into?
No, this was the stuff we were talking about last week. When we're in Austin at Wizard Academy, and what happens a lot is that like the AI is kind of like they know what the common average like the way they're trained with like next token prediction. They're very good at predicting the average and expectations. So if you kind of like just listen to AI, you go down the same path everyone else is going
right
down. And
which
and
is
what
why
happens,
you have to specify like your own brand and make it specific, or else you're going to get the same kind of blob that everybody else is getting.
And
right?
it's the same thing that everyone else ultimately bids for. It's you're asking for the same attention that everyone else. You're targeting the same person that everyone else is targeting. And then if you ask the AI to craft a message for this person, that was stage 2, then you're going to have very similar messaging to hit the 30 to 45-year-old urban professional.
Right.
And so this idea of the Supergirl comes back like if you kind of like take a step back to where marketing's been for athleisure and like where all the brand consultants will tell you to go is it started with Chip Wilson and Lululemon, like having this notion of the urban professional who does everything. And there was a quip from Gemini, Becca, that
here we go.
That Supergirl in 2026, after 30 years, working hard is tired and needs support.
No, that's not how it was worded.
Okay, so you go.
I'll read how it was worded.
Okay, fine.
So first off, Supergirl is the avatar of the optimization era. She woke up at 5 a.m., ran a marathon, managed a hedge fund, and raised 3 kids, all while looking hot. According to Gemini, the problem is Supergirl doesn't need support. Supergirl is the support. The reality of 2026, the modern woman is burnt out. She realized that trying to be Supergirl was a scam that just generated more labor for her. She doesn't want to be the structure anymore. She wants to rest on the structure. And my problem
being the Supergirl.
With this description is I think it makes, I don't think women today are necessarily universally like burnt out and like just wanting to rest. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting support. But I think many women today are super women, right? They're doing all the things. And yeah, it's hard. And yeah, there are people who are burnt out, but I feel like it frames women today in a very negative light. And I don't think it's true.
So you think that the woman today, and here's the thing, it's all perspective. Like, you guys are in New York City. I'm in California right now, but I'm like, my heart is in New York, and it's very different landscape. So when I'm in New York, I'm like, I'm all about the grind. I am all about the, like, this is my career. Everything else, get out of the way. When I'm in the burbs, everyone else is moving at a much lower frequency, a slower pace. It is different. And I don't think there's a good or bad or right or wrong. But do you think is this the average woman in the world, the average woman in America, or the average woman in New York City?
I mean, I don't have a huge reference range because, like, I've been in New York for a really long time. Most of my friends are here, but my childhood best friend lives in the suburbs of Seattle. And, she is raising 3 kids. She's their primary caregiver for sure. She's making all the meals. She's making sure they get where they need to go. She's teaching dance. She's doing some modeling. Like, she doesn't, she's like, makes some income from teaching dance, but she doesn't have like a full-time job. But I still look at her as like a superwoman, for doing all she's doing. And yes, it's a slower pace, but like, I think that women sort of like almost by necessity, whether they have kids or not, they have to take on so many different roles in their day-to-day. And I think sometimes for men, it can be a little bit simpler.
Well, what I love is this perspective that I feel like this is kind of like athleisure marketing, like, advertises the goddess. And so even though you are the Supergirl, you are simultaneously not enough. But if you buy our leggings, you will be enough.
Then you are, which is a marketing ploy.
But that's not just athleisure. That's like being a woman in this world, right? Every single thing is telling us, like, every single product is telling us, like, you're not enough without, like, our product will make you like more ideal. Yeah.
And so that was kind of like the opposite in our messaging is like, well, will our leggings completely transform your life? No, they won't. And as an engineer, I can say that, well, if you ask the question, will they be less worse than everything else in your closet? Probably. And we don't offer salvation. We sell support.
And so I love that, because it is different. Both of you are so right. Like, the marketing today is literally like fear-based, telling us that we're not enough, so that once we buy whatever product and use it, now we are good. We're worthy. We are enough. And when it comes to Bezier, in this case, this use of AI for these leggings, the person is enough. I wrote a newsletter the other day for Bezier. I don't know if we're going to continue the newsletter, but it was about how I went to a fitting for a Broadway show, and I was so used to trying to fit into clothes. And at the fitting, I was sucking in, and the designer was like, "What are you doing? Why don't you just be and let me do my job of fitting the clothes to you, because you are exactly how you're supposed to be. You're enough." And that's kind of how I feel about Bezier and these leggings that you guys are doing. It's you're making them for the person, saying you're enough as you are. Let us sculpt this thing around you. It's like,
all without the 6-figure a week budget.
All without this huge, it's the same price as, well, it's free right now, but eventually it'll be around the same price as Lulu, but more custom, way more custom.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So it reminds me, Salisha, of the first pair you tried on, and your feedback. And it was great how you worded it. I can't remember exactly, but it was something along the lines of, our leggings make you feel like supported and like lifted up without feeling like you're trying to like, stuff yourself like a sausage into a casing to get them on. Like, there are other brands that do like compressive, sort of like, what's the right word? Like body sculpting leggings. And I own a few pair, and getting them on is like getting them on, getting them off. It's like a whole ordeal, and it makes you feel crappy about yourself because you're like, okay, well, yeah. So it's like the right balance of, I feel supported, like I feel like these leggings are not only comfortable, flattering, but like you're not battling to get them on, and it doesn't feel like your leggings are judging you.
Right? Oh, I love that. It doesn't feel like your leggings are judging you. It's one thing if you are putting an outfit on for a one-off. Like it's like this is the night that we've been waiting for all year. I don't care if I can't breathe. I will do whatever it takes to get this one outfit on. It's another thing when you're literally living day to day. You don't want to feel like a fat whore every day. I want to just feel freaking great. Like I'm hot.
You want to feel confident and comfortable. Yes. Yes. And comfortable. Why is it so hard to do that?
Because it's an engineering challenge.
But it's, why is no one else trying to solve it?
Okay. Also, Becca, like you and I, we're like, all three of us, we're like around from the same generation, right? These like Gen Z, they will go to the club in tennis shoes. I feel like our generation, we're like stilettos. Who cares if our feet break off? Like we can't walk out the house without stilettos. And now these new kids, they're like, why would anybody do that?
Like, why are you doing that to yourself? Yeah,
that's so uncomfortable. So it feels like. Do you also think, just taking it back to the Supergirl notion for a little bit, is there any difference between this idea of Supergirl pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and now? Has anything changed, do you think?
I think there was an evolution. I mean, the concept of Supergirl is pretty new to me, but like just thinking about sort of like people's roles, there was sort of like the norm, especially in New York City before the pandemic. And then during the pandemic, I mean, we were lucky because nothing really changed for us. Other than I think we're speaking earlier about like we just couldn't travel as frequently, but like Cedric's job was already work from home. Nothing changed. My job in the ER, I was still going in. We didn't have a child at home that we had to like do school for,
Zombie didn't exist yet.
Zombie didn't exist. I think for a lot of people, the sort of like amount of responsibility and multitasking actually increased during the pandemic because especially if you have children. Like, I think that, you now have to be the teacher and you have to be like full-time entertainment.
Everything.
You're still working, right?
Yeah.
And I think post-pandemic, it feels like people are prioritizing a little bit more balance. Like, I think there's a little less workaholic expectation.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, why can't I work from home a few days a week? Or, why can't I prioritize, having balance in my life?
Right. So I think it is different. It took the world slowing down. I know you guys' schedules stayed the same. Mine did not. I went from go, not even just an 8-show week. I was in rehearsals for a new Broadway show, which is all consuming. It is like all day, every day. You go home and then you rehearse everything that you did all day at home and go back the next morning and start it all over again. It went from very, very busy to I am just on the couch and doing nothing. And then at a certain point, like you're saying, it turned into this, wait, now I'm multitasking because everyone's at home and people are asking more than they usually would. So, and I'm like it did kind of change a lot, like the mindset, but then going back into the workplace, priorities were different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for sure.
More balance, more comfort was more of a priority. I'm like, so speaking of more balance, more comfort, or aesthetics even, Cedric, you've been working on the website and like the new interface. We have a version of it up right now, and it's great. But I love what you've been working on and how you've been changing it. Can you tell me about how you're using AI
Oh,
in the website
all
and
right.
like the building of it?
Yeah. So we now have Claude Code writing most of, you could say, the code for the website. So instead of like programming and writing every line of code myself, I now have AI doing like 90 to 95% of the code, and so that's helped a lot. Good example. We were paying about $2 to $5 per person to get measured with one of the other photogrammetry software sites.
Right.
And thanks to Meta, there's a free model that we were able to download and start customizing. And so because I run everything now on a computer that's sitting in our closet, then our cost for like to scan a person is like less than a penny. And that means that people can now get like can just literally play with the software on our website. And so like
Which
one of my
looks really cool too.
yeah. So instead of being something that you have to like go to the site and then because we were paying so much for each person, like they'd have to get registered. Now we're saying like, oh, just come to our homepage. We'll show photos of like different UGC, like user generated content, people we found on through a site called Incense, and like we can show how the computer is able to take your photo and translate it into a 3D model, and also you can like use any other photo. And I think that's the cool thing is like instead of being like, oh, now I've got to like strip down and like take these like very vulnerable photos, it could just be a gym selfie
Love
of
that.
yourself. And even better is that the first photo doesn't even have to be of you. Like you could just take any photo of a person from the internet and upload it and see what
Just
the
to
technology
play.
does.
See
Just
with
to
the
play.
you can play with the technology.
I tried doing it with the picture of our 2.5-year-old,
Yeah.
and I got to the point where you had to put the height in, and he's not tall enough, so I had to stop.
I was wondering about that. I was like, can you do it on kids? Can we make leggings for kids? How does that work?
Yeah, I can just scale it down, but it also makes him look like a little like fat chunk. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Okay, two thoughts in my mind. Number one, you were talking about coding. Not everyone knows how to code, and I know that you're using Claude now to help you do things, but I've watched you code in real time, Cedric, and it's pretty intimidating and incredible. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Have you always done that?
Yeah, it's changed. I think now we have a lot more like stream of consciousness where I can say this is what I want, and like the AI will kind of take care of that. And I think what you were looking at was that I can work in like 3 or 4 different windows at the same time,
which is also crazy.
Yeah, and then I'm just like mostly waiting for it to get through stuff. So that a lot of that has just changed, but I think it's also been eye-opening because like what we were seeing in the class last week on marketing in the world of AI is that like ChatGPT now can like create your whole content strategy, can create your whole marketing strategy,
and with that they made a point, and I thought this was so great. As like a normal, I feel out of the 3 of us, I'm the normal person brain here. Okay.
Yeah.
They mentioned when they were saying you can do a whole content strategy, you can make AI employees. They said, do not go and fire all of your employees. This is not the point of this conference. They said that, and I thought that was so powerful. How they said,
especially from an HR perspective, because I think once you tell everybody we're just going to create like virtual Salisha, like people, so I was like, wait, why am I going to help you? Like make myself irrelevant.
Exactly.
Exactly. But it's so funny to come out of that conference and say, you know what we should do? We should start a YouTube channel, because that's like going to be like the most like human, based approach to marketing. It's no longer just going to be like, oh, let's let AI do like create artificial photos, artificial models, and do all that. How real can we get? And this is as real as you can get.
The conference absolutely opened up my mind of, okay, how can we make things so much more efficient? And now with all of our extra time, what do we do with it?
Yeah.
So it didn't say go off. They didn't say go off and fire all your employees. They said the best of your employees, now you can clone that.
Yeah.
You clone them and help that employee do their job even better. I was sitting next to you, Cedric, thinking, why am I here? You didn't need me before.
Yeah.
Becca, oh my gosh, if you could see, and I know you know this about your husband. I know you know this about Cedric, but he's a genius. And when the teacher walked in, he saw Cedric and said, Cedric is here.
Yeah.
What can I possibly teach that he doesn't already know?
Yeah.
Everybody who got up and spoke was like, Cedric Yau is in the room, everybody. I'm like,
yeah. But it was a marketing with AI class. It's like, yeah, I have the AI down. I know what AI can do. But I wanted that refresher on like, what is marketing? And how do we go back to building like awareness for our product? And I just love this idea that like now we have time for long form. I don't have to pay the algo for views anymore. I think that's the goal.
It really made me ask myself, because before the teacher was even done teaching the class, Becca, Cedric had finished doing all the things, push the button, everything that I thought, okay, when we leave this conference, this will take me about 2 weeks to finish. Cedric finished it before the end of the class. And I'm thinking,
so that was like, teacher made, Ryan Dice had all of his notes available, like the whole PowerPoint presentation.
So he just skipped ahead and figured it out.
Yeah, it was like a 500 megabyte presentation. It's like all full of photos and everything else. I had Claude break it down. It was like 300 slides. Claude broke everything down.
No, it was 800 slides.
Oh, 800 slides. So it's 800 slides. Claude broke everything down, page by page, took all the notes. And then we have a database of like everything people have said about our product. We had sent over like 300 pairs to people on Incense, and like they had feedback and comments. So I just said, take everything that what we're doing, identify what the ideal customer profile is, take all of the notes that they've given us to run through with our customers, and just like run it through the database. And it came up with all the suggestions. I'm like, oh, this is all good, and this is all what's expected. But even if it was like intellectually correct and would probably get like an A+ in an MBA class on marketing, I still felt like it lacked soul.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
It lacks soul. We still need the human touch. We still need that is the difference. One of my friends said it best during her Miss USA on stage question. She said, let the creatives be creative. It was like an AI question.
Yeah.
And then let AI help you do all the other kind of things. But that human touch, writing a book, writing a storyline for a film, you
still need experience, like human experience. And like the way I know what I got out of the course is like, this is going to be so easy for everyone else to come up with the right messaging. And so now anyone can eventually say the right words. Everyone can pick the 30 to 45-year-old urban professional with an Equinox membership who does yoga. Like anyone can stumble on that, especially with AI. It's like you don't have to be a genius. And so what changes now is that if everyone can say exactly the right things, what are the things that we can say that are not necessarily right, but still like very human? And that's kind of like why we're here today.
I I want to pose a question for those who are maybe listening. Well, there's a two-part question because not everybody is. I guess if you're listening to this, you're open to AI because we're talking a lot about it. If you're listening to it, and
AI
so,
adjacent.
or maybe you're AI adjacent. I want to pose a question of if you had AI doing all of the